Hello, welcome back. I am back, and so is Siddhi.
And I'm back too.
Um,
Hi everybody. How's everyone doing?
I hope you are having a good and great week. I am not, but that's okay. So today we wanted to talk about, well, from yesterday's last week's podcast. Everybody was like, a lot of my friends were like, "Oh, you should talk about the spiritual hygiene thing." In general, and it just came to us. So today we're going to talk about spiritual hygiene and how to keep it clean in every sense
Yes.
of the word.
And I feel like this is an apt podcast topic for today, mainly because Niharika feels a little drained.
Yeah.
I did psychic readings for a couple of people, and I'm kind of feeling drained because I had nightmares and I had sleep paralysis yesterday.
Oh,
So
no.
today we're going to discuss the importance of spiritual hygiene.
Yeah.
And what do you think is spiritual hygiene? What is it to you?
I think for me, it's just a way of staying very clear outside and inside. It's like things add up, let them be thoughts or bad body odor or anything that's like cluttery or clutter in my room. Like I feel like they add, if I don't take care of it, they add up and then it becomes very crowded in my brain, and then it's hard for me to focus on anything. I think that's what ended up happening to me this weekend. So then I just become very bitter and annoyed and sad, and that's what it is for me. It's just cleaning out my brain, cleaning my body, cleaning my room, like cleaning basically, but on a energy level as well. Like even physically cleaning stuff helps on an energy level. So cleaning on an energy level so that I stay sane for me. And stay and plus being a being a, what am I?
A medium.
Yeah, being a medium, I have to kind of keep it clear because it's very, very easy for me to attract spirits who have unfulfilled intentions, and they usually get attracted to bitter, sad versions of me. So I try to stay away from that by being spiritually clean at all times. What about you?
Okay, so first of all, I'd like to say that you're a healer regardless.
Oh, okay.
Tarot reader, whoever's listening to this, if you think you're not a healer, this is basically healing practices because you're helping people at the end of the day. So that's out of the way.
Okay.
Now, for me, I feel like we have two bodies, which is our physical body and our spirit or our soul. And sometimes, when we're around a lot of energy, because we're constantly around a lot of energy, and like Niharika said, there's a clutter of emotions building up
Yeah.
in our brains, and we have not only physical body odor, we have spiritual BO too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I feel like it's really important for us to cleanse that spiritual BO so that we can function properly. You know how when we have body odor, nobody wants to be around you because you're groggy, you're just annoyed all the time.
And you look
That's the
like
same
it.
thing
Like you
spiritually.
don't look presentable. No one wants to no one feels like being around someone who's smells bad and doesn't look presentable. It just gives you,
Imagine that in the spirit world, where everyone's on a different plane completely, and you're here in this physical plane trying to contact them, and they're like,
No.
too much body odor,
Yeah.
get away from me.
go clean and then come back.
Exactly. So for me, it is really important for people to maintain spiritual hygiene so that they can, one, be more connected to their spiritual, their spirit guides, and they can be better mediums.
Oh, definitely.
Even if they're not doing tarot or astrology or whatever, and even if they're not doing those things actively,
Yeah.
but spiritual hygiene is just good for your mental health too.
It is, yeah, in general. Even if you're not an avid meditator, or you don't practice, you don't have crystals all over your room, it's just nice to be spiritually clean just in general, because it just helps you feel better on a mental, physical level as well.
Yeah, it's like the clearing of energy. Like you have
Yeah.
all this anxiety all over your
No
body,
matter who
and
you
have.
are, yeah, no matter what kind of person you are, even if you don't, like, even if you work especially if you work a desk job at work, you're surrounded by so many people. That my point is, like, this is not exclusive to healers and mediums and stuff. Like, it's just like anybody who, you know, has to do their thing every day. It helps to be a little bit protected, spiritually, clean spiritually, because yeah, the desk job thing, it's just so many people around you, so many different vibes. You tend to, something tends to latch on to you at the end of the day. So yeah, I think.
Yeah, like I remember last month I left my job mainly because it was really stressful, and I remember like
Same.
texting Niharika every day. I was just like, holy shit, I can't do this. Like this is really hard, and people's energy over there was so dense. It was like,
Yeah.
you know, being in, you know, in Dubai they have these like huge garbage cans,
Yeah.
and the smell emanating from them,
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
just that thick dense smell.
Oh god, yeah.
That's
I know
what it
you
felt
mean.
like. But
yeah,
like
it's just, it
spiritually.
feels like, yeah, it feels like you're just around a pile of garbage, and like there's garbage smells everywhere. Like, yeah, that's such a good way to put it. And it feels like, you know, even like, you know, garbage smells, even if it's just a smell, it feels so like suffocating, like it's physically there. So I know what you mean. Like, that's such a good analogy. I felt the same way. I think for me as well. Well, I worked in the corporate world for like a while, like a good few years, but as I kept doing, like, when I got into, you know, healing or doing this, like being a medium for other people, it just became more and more difficult for me to be around different types of energy. Like, it was difficult regardless, but it became,
you become sensitive, yeah.
more sensitive. Like, for before, it was like, oh, if two people fought in the room, then I can't concentrate on work for the rest of the day because I can feel the tension. But now it's like, I can feel the tension, I can't breathe. It became more intense as my mediumship strengthened and grew. So yeah, it's just very important for me to stay clean spiritually. But we had a few points to talk about, each one of us, of how maybe you can practice spiritual hygiene and, you know, stay on top of that and smell good spiritually, and you know, have happy spirit guides. So I'm gonna let Siddhi, why don't you begin and then tell us what you have.
Okay, so you know, like my spiritual practice in general is, it's a little more like complex than most people, because there's like a specific way I do things, and there's a specific way Niharika does things, and I don't like to expose those practices because that's like putting
Private,
holes in your own, like that's just counterproductive. So I'm gonna give you like very simple ways of practicing spiritual hygiene. The first one is obviously like keeping your surroundings like clean. Just that's literally it. Like, keep your surroundings clean. Keep the people who are around you should be clean. And like, I think Niharika is gonna like elaborate on that point, but my number one thing is to pray and have gratitude. Like, having gratitude about like everything in your life, whatever ups and downs you go through, the fact that you're still alive and breathing, you have a roof over your head, and you have food on your plate. It is extremely important. That the immediate knowing of the fact that you are grateful of all of these things, that will immediately just like take away all of those negative thoughts. It's just gonna make you feel more, you know, it'll make you feel calmer. That's what they do in gratitude meditation. That's what they do in gratitude journaling. You think about three things in your day that made you happy. Like, even if it was just like a smile, and you were just like, oh, I'm so glad to have this. Like,
so insignificant.
Like, suppose you spoke to your friend and they made you feel better about something. Like, I speak to Niharika and I was just like, I am so glad I have someone like this who understands me.
She'll just like send me
I just feel misunderstood, and that's like my whole spiel. But I do that, and then the fact that you're praying, the fact that you have an altar, that you pray to God, and you have this knowing that there's someone protecting you,
watching over you.
it will fill you with so much happiness. And I'm still getting goosebumps just talking about it,
for
because
sure.
it's a wonderful practice.
You're feeling gratitude right now while like saying it, kind of, realizing it, letting it set in. It just makes you feel good. Like, even if it was something like, she'll just send me like a react meme and I'll be like, hee hee. And it'll be like, even if I'm having a bad day, like those 2 seconds that I giggled are like, if I think about them at the end of the day and I'm like, today I was thankful for this, it's like, okay, my day wasn't that bad. It just immediately just brings everything down. Like, I was just telling, before we started this podcast, I'm sorry to interrupt, but like, this is just like a good example, before we started the podcast, I was just telling her about how I've been in such a bad mood and everything's just been annoying me, people, things in life, myself, like everything's just been so irritating. And the second that I feel that way, it's just things. And then I was recounting like the good things that were happening to me, because I personally feel like every time I'm in a bad mood, the universe or God or whoever, whatever it is, just circumstances seem to favor me a little extra. Like, I feel spoiled and babied, touchwood, by the universe in some way. After all, like, good things happen to me, even if it was like a small bit of the day and the majority of the day was bad, recalling those few hours of like happiness was like, oh, okay, fine, you know what, my day wasn't that bad. Because you kind of like trace your steps back and then you think, like, you recap the day and you're looking at it objectively from an outside perspective instead of living it emotionally. So that's another thing about gratitude. If when you're thinking about it later, it's like, oh, okay, this shitty stuff happened, but then this good stuff happened. So that makes you feel kind of, it balances stuff out and it puts things in perspective better, basically. But yeah.
So that was like my first point. My second point about how to practice spiritual hygiene is fasting. And I just need to put out this like word of caution. Like, if you're dealing with eating disorders or like disordered eating in any way, please do not listen to me. Go listen to your therapist. Go listen to anybody. Like, please take advice from someone else, because I know how difficult it can be for someone who's having like a disordered pattern of eating to go through fasting and like restricting. So please don't listen to me. But a good way of practicing spiritual hygiene is fasting, because when you fast, one, you experience you experience the feeling of starvation, which makes you really humble for everything you've ever had. 2, your body completely goes into autophagy, which is when it destroys its cells. So when your cells are destroyed, like your cells are destroyed even when you're washing hands, but please don't go compulsively wash hands. But yeah, when your cells are destroyed, your karma is balanced, because you need like that little self destruction in your life. It's very important to have that like little self-destruction, but in a good way. Don't go smoke cigarettes and don't do drugs,
cause chaos.
That's not the
that's
good
not
kind.
what it means.
Just take showers, that's all. But
she just meant like,
Niharika's gonna go now.
I think the point of that was like on a molecular level, like it's good to have cells being destroyed, because then there's new cells that come in. And isn't that like a statistic where every 5 years your body is like a completely new
7 years.
7 years.
7 years.
In 7 years.
But your internal cells, they get destroyed like when you're doing fast. So like a water fast once a week on your born day is really good. Like, I've been doing it for about like 4 or 5 months, and it's just, when you first start out, like, you don't realize like this is very beneficial in any way. You're just like, why am I doing this? But you soon start seeing like it's just wonderful, and the benefits are amazing, because you have that one day where you restrict yourself and you're not indulging in something. Indulgence is Maya. It's like our Rahu, and it's leading us to path of destruction. But when you have that detachment, when you're like away from that, you realize that I have these many things. You become more observant.
Oh, true. That makes
so
sense.
that was the 2 points: praying, expressing gratitude, and fasting.
Nice. I will try the fasting thing. I was born on a Friday, so fasting on a Friday is just like really hard for me. It's like the weekend. If I fast on the weekend, it's like when do I
It depends
indulge?
on your chart. So if you have a day chart, that is when you fast on a Friday. But if you have a night chart, that's when you fast on Thursday.
So what do you mean? Does that depend on when I was born? Like if I was born in I
Yeah.
don't.
So suppose if the sun
Yeah.
in your astrology chart, if it's from houses 12 to 8
Okay.
or 12 to 7,
Okay.
that's when it's a day chart.
Oh,
But
okay,
if it's
okay.
from houses 1 to 7, it's a night chart.
Oh, okay, okay. I will have to
So,
look that up then.
I don't remember like what house your sun is in.
I don't
Capricorn,
remember either.
right? And you're Libra rising. You have a night chart, so you can fast on Thursday.
I do. Oh my god, Thursday is like my veg day. That's great. I can definitely fast. Okay, I will try that. But yeah, those are like very simple, basic ways of being spiritually clean. A few points that I keep in mind are I kind of look at the four elements and I use the four elements in my everyday practice, spiritual practices. So I also like to cleanse with four elements. I think those are very powerful and the best way, honestly, to stay in touch with nature as well and be spiritually clean and all that jazz. It's just I like working with nature's elements. So the way that cleansing with the four elements works is let's take fire. So fire can be candles, diyas, stuff like that, lighting candles around the room, scented candles. Say, you have like people are now selling all these fancy ones with like negativity banishing and self-love, but even if you have like a simple pink rose scented candle and you've just showered and you've come out and your room smelling nice and there's fire like around you. Fire is good at destroying energy in a way, like taking in energy in a way. It doesn't
Fire
destroy
is
it.
cleansing, yeah.
It cleanses your energy. So if you give your energy away, like if you have a bad day and you kind of light a candle, sit in front of it, talk to it, meditate in front of it, like whatever you do, the fire is gonna absorb however you feel. The second one being water, salt water, moon water, sun water, singing bowl water. Like it's just water charged by other elements of nature. So charged water, if you bathe in it, if you dunk your legs in it, if you basically drink it, these are good ways to keep yourself clean spiritually. Obviously you can't drink salt water.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So for the moon water, like, do you have to do it during like certain phases of the moon? So suppose
Yeah,
like
I mean, full
people
moon
usually
water would
don't
be-
do
yeah.
moon water during an amavasya or something.
Oh yeah, definitely full moon. Like you would want to charge the water under the full moon because that's when it's at its full face, and sun water would be anytime in the day. I have a singing bowl, like a Tibetan singing bowl, so I pour water in that singing bowl and then like charge it with those sounds. So that's a good way as well. Even if you like hold your hand over a glass of water and like say a sacred mantra or a prayer over it. So I mean, being
Affirmations, basically.
Hindu says the Hanuman Chalisa, the Ram Raksha, whatever your like sacred prayer is, even if you do that, it's at the end of the day you're charging it with an intention and then you can drink it. Like, so if you're trying to cleanse yourself with that water, you can just be like, this water is going to purify me, it's going to take away all the worries of the day, blah blah blah. You can do that. Salt water, bath salts as well. If you don't have a bathtub, if you just put bath salts in a bucket and just dunk your feet in it, it's going to relax the muscles of your entire body and it's going to make you like through your feet it'll reach until the top of your head. Like that's a guarantee. So that's how I use water. In terms of air, obviously smudging, so herbs or agarbattis, if you kind of run that smoke around your body, it's very it cleanses you really well. I think that's one of my top ways of
Yeah, that's what I do
spiritual
as well.
cleansing. Yeah, I like it. I like air, like I like the smoke, like it's very dramatic and it makes me feel like I feel it. I feel the smoke taking away and re-energizing. So I really enjoy it.
We're both Libra risings, of course. We
Oh,
love
yeah,
that
for sure.
cardinal air.
Yeah, it makes me feel really good. it feels the most effective. So if you want to smudge with air, smoke, you can use an agarbatti, you can use rosemary, cedar, mugwort, Indian sage, not white sage, and etc. There are so many other herbs you can use. And last, is that all of the elements? Oh yeah, earth. So for earth, the way that you can kind of cleanse is, obviously for me, the best way is my crystals. They're a part of the earth, so holding crystals that cleanse, take away negative energy, absorb your energy. That's usually what I use to cleanse, using the earth element. But you can also just put your feet on soil or on grass or on the ground, like without wearing slippers. I don't wear slippers around the house because it makes me feel really uncomfortable, and my Masi told me that it actually like bounces off the negativity like within your body. Like if you walk barefoot, obviously if you can't, but if you walk barefoot, it kind of helps give back energy into the earth, so it helps you kind of I don't know, stabilize in a way, and it keeps you grounded also. So that's a good way to use the earth to stay spiritually clean. And that brings me
can I add one more to the
Yeah.
earth part, please?
yeah
Watering your plants. It's as simple as that.
watering
Talking to your plants, watering
forgot
your
about
plants, saying I love you to them every day. It'll help them grow and it'll help you
That's
feel
so
better. You have
true.
like little children.
Yeah, I've been neglecting my plants so much. I feel so bad. But I literally like just looking at them and just like smiling at them, just being like, hey man, sup. And that's like, that makes me like, that just fills me with so much positive energy. I don't know how to explain it. It probably sounds insane to a lot of people, but literally, like if I stare at my like peace lily, it's in my room. Like if I stare at my peace lily for like 5 seconds, I just have a smile on my face. Like my plants make me happy. But yeah, pick your element, pick whichever one you resonate with the most, and just practice spiritual hygiene in that way. And the earth,
I have like one more thing to add. I feel like women are more earth and water creatures because like earth signs and water signs are more feminine. So like if you have like, if you're an earth dominant or like a water dominant, I feel like it's best to align with those elements and do spiritual cleansing practices based on those elements. But if you're a man and you're listening to this, fire and air works the best for you because you're more masculine and the energy aligns with that better.
do I have masculine energy? Because I resonate more with fire.
You're a woman.
I know, but I don't know, I feel more comfortable. Of course I feel comfortable with my plants, but I feel more comfortable with air and fire. Like candles and smudges are my favorite. Like I'm drawn to those more than water is though.
Oh no, it's all about the energy at the end of the day. Like however, like try all of these. Actually, it's best if you try all of these methods because all of them are beneficial. But if you feel like you're aligned to more, like if you're aligned to, for Niharika, she's aligned more towards fire and air, she's gonna do that because that's what she likes to do. I am a more like earthly grounded creature. I like relaxing and I love my water and everything. I like the agarbatti thing as well, but I love my salt baths and I love all of these things. So I would do that. Similarly, if you have a mix of energies, you can do all of these practices.
Yeah, whatever works best. Honestly.
Whatever suits you the best.
Yeah, it's up to you. You have to kind of get like a basic outline, a skeleton of what you're supposed to do, and then just let your intuition do whatever it's drawn to, basically. Like if any of these sound like, one of them was like, oh, this sounds like a good idea, just go ahead and do that. But yeah, that the earth and the grounding part of it brings me into the next way of cleansing, which is meditation. It's honest, like a white light meditation will take you a long way. It also kind of shields you from the days, and like in the morning if you wake up and you keep your feet on the ground and close your eyes and do a white light meditation, which is basically imagining a white light going within you and also shielding you. It's a good spiritual shield that you kind of create around yourself. So whatever you do for the rest of the day, you're kind of protected in a way. At least your energy is. So that's one of the best ways. But not everyone's a meditating kind of person. So
Okay, if you don't like meditating early in the morning, there is this particular spiritual practice that we do in my family, which is we look at our palms in the morning and we pray to gods. And that's actually helpful because it brings in a lot of prosperity as well.
Really?
So if you don't like doing white light meditation, you can look at your palms, imagine Saraswati, Vishnu, and Lakshmi.
Right.
Just think of those people, those three gods.
Yeah.
And there's a specific mantra you say for it, which we'll put up on Taroni. But of course, it's not applied to most people. It's for Hindus.
Yeah.
But this
Yeah,
is what
I was
we
just
do, and
like,
it's-
I wish I knew how to help anyone who's like of another religion or doesn't follow religion, just like spirituality. But yeah, this is what, you would do if you followed Hinduism.
Yeah, so this is what we would do. Christians can obviously like take salt baths, like it's
Yeah, I mean, they can look at their
it's
palms.
baptism
and-
basically.
Yeah, they can look at their palms and they can pray to their own gods, whoever they feel
Yeah.
is right. But yeah, so that was like, meditation's a great way to go, and honestly the most important one in my opinion is to be actually like physically clean, in terms of like what Sati was saying before, in terms of your room, in terms of your mind and your thoughts, in terms of your surroundings, in terms of your body. Like, you want to be actually physically clean. It'll take you a long way in terms of your spiritual and sometimes it goes hand in hand. Like, sometimes I need to have a salt bath to feel at peace mentally, and sometimes it's like it's just a spiritual gross feeling that I have, but taking a bath will help me not feel that anymore. But physically cleaning yourself and your surroundings and your mind is by far the most important way to stay clean spiritually, because at the end of the day, I feel like I say this in almost every episode, but everything is energy. So if you kind of have clutter around you and you don't shower for days and your mind is full of like unresolved thoughts, it's just gonna it's gonna catch up to you on a particular day, and it's just not gonna be fun. And your spirit guides are gonna be like, listen, you can't reach us right now because there's a lot cluttering your mind right now. And I was also like, when I was thinking of things in this to add to this list, I was thinking about how they say that humans don't need to bathe every day. Like, it's not necessary. They can go like 2 days without bathing. Like, it strips your body of oils or something, and you're not supposed
Propaganda.
to. Yeah, I don't know. Someone, like, a lot of people used to say that to me in college. Like, a lot of my friends, a lot of people that I met and have come across have said that, I don't bathe every day because humans are not supposed to bathe every day. Like, it strips you off of your oils or whatever. And that may be true. I mean, you don't have to bathe every day, but for me,
I mean, you can replenish those oils with like, moisturizer. More oils.
Yeah.
Like, there are physical oils available, and the food you eat, that's what matters. Like, you don't even need oil on your skin. You need moisture, which comes from water.
Yeah.
So you need to apply
Stay
humectants.
hydrated.
And that's a whole different thing. We'll
Yeah.
talk about spirituality and beauty, and
Oh,
I'll
for
talk
sure.
about how your hair and nails are connected to intuition, and how to
That's so interesting.
practice
Dude, that's a
spirituality
good
through beauty.
That's a good YouTube idea. We have a YouTube channel, by the way. Go subscribe. You can listen to this podcast there as well. But yeah, you can do a YouTube video on that.
Oh yeah,
That sounds
like a great
interesting.
idea. I'll do it.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's very important to so that's what I was thinking about. And I was also thinking about how I've seen like Western I've only seen this kind of in the West. Maybe it's a thing in the East, but I haven't come across it, where Western spiritual people, white people mainly, are like, oh, I don't bathe, I don't use deodorant.
I love how like
I have
every
to,
podcast we just come to the
embrace-
point where like we talk shit about white people.
I had to, at the last podcast, I literally erased a whole chunk of it because it was just us going off on a completely different tangent. It was just like increasing the thing. No, I don't wanna spend too much time on it, but yeah, there seems to be this thing going around where they're like, you don't need to bathe every day. Like, people didn't bathe in the whatever Stone Age, and they, were in their own BO and it was fine. But honestly, personally, I don't think it's fine. I think you should take a bath every day because and my Masi told me this as well. My Masi should be on this podcast, honestly. It's like me recycling her knowledge. But she's told me body odor attracts a lot of negativity, and especially for like from medium to medium, she tells me a lot of like stuff for my personal gain, but I'm pretty sure this is true for everyone. She said I'm never allowed to have body odor when I go out. Like, I have to be smelling good because there's a lot of bad and negative energy that can be attracted to physical body odor. So make sure you're
I completely agree with your Masi.
Yeah.
Like, I can't stand being around like smelly people or smelly places. Like, I just need to
definitely.
get out.
I don't think anyone can.
Yeah, but like, it's just my nose is super sensitive. Like, I can smell what's cooking in like 3 different houses.
Yeah, my
and
mom's like
sometimes
that.
I'm just like, ew, they're cooking meat. Like,
Yeah.
no offense to meat eaters or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just
wow, I'm
vegetarian,
so offended. How dare you?
But
I know what you mean.
another thing, like, to control body odor is take Himalayan salt
gonna
ball.
tell you to
Like,
mention
there's a
that.
Himalayan salt ball, and like Niharika and I have talked about this extensively. And just like wet it in the morning. You get like those 4, like a pack of 4 balls in Amazon. On Amazon, and you can just like take that, wet it in the morning, use it on your underarms, under your boobs. If you don't have
to
boobs,
try
just
that.
use it on your neck or whatever. It's gonna kill all the bacteria that causes the odor. It's gonna let you sweat because sweating is really, really important
Yeah.
for your body.
Yeah.
It clears your lymph nodes. Again, whole different topic.
We have to do a beauty, skincare, spirituality thing somewhere. But yeah, that's very
Niharika
important.
especially, she has excellent skin. Like, Niharika and I have like touch wood. We have like
doesn't come
excellent
easy.
skin.
Doesn't come easy, honestly. I only have I have very specific anyway, that's not the point here. But yeah, just take a bath, man. You can't take a bath every day. It's not gonna strip your body oils away. It doesn't make you more spiritual or anything of that sort. In fact, it's just not nice to be gross. And like, you can have like your own opinions and contest this. If any white person ever comes across this podcast and doesn't bathe every day because they think that it makes them one with nature, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but it's not the case, and you can trust me on this. Please take a shower
and
every
like,
day.
people really need to stop giving like the Victorian age, Edwardian era, Renaissance examples, Stone Age examples, because back then people would die due to pneumonia or like dirty water because they did not wash their asses or like take showers regularly. The lifespan was 30 years of age, so you can't just give that example to people now.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. Stop like trying to go back to like, there's so many, and this is even like, there's a huge point of debate in so many religions as well, but I don't want to like get into that. But so many religions, like religious scriptures and stuff, talk about that someone was saying that somewhere on the internet, I think on Twitter. They were like, religious scriptures don't tell you that homosexuality is a sin. They just, at that time, I don't know if it was a religious scripture or something like that, but it was someone saying that. It was like somewhere in some book that was considered holy, they talked about how homosexuality is a sin, but that's not exactly what they said. All they said was anal sex is not good, because at that time they didn't know condoms, and then STDs would pass really easily, and that's what they meant. They didn't mean that homosexuality is a sin. They meant that STDs pass easily if you have butt sex. So I don't know if it was a religious scripture,
No offense,
but someone put it as like a religious thing. I really don't know what it was, so don't tell. I'm not going to say it was religious. I'm just going to say someone said that. So, but that's a good analogy, you know, that's a good like way of looking at how things came down as Chinese whisper, and they maybe were not supposed to be like that. It was probably just circumstances of that time because they didn't have the technology or the tools to live the way we live today.
I mean, no offense, but I feel like people do this to fit their agenda and like defend their religion sometimes, which is like, okay, I understand.
Yeah.
But
No, but it's also
at
what
the end
they're
of the
taught,
day, you're
na?
supposed to.
Like it's also what they've been taught for generations, and a lot of people don't want to, or they don't feel comfortable challenging their religion. So I get why they would be so.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
going to say. Like, I understand why
Yeah.
you would feel the need to defend your religion, but at the end of the day, you need to understand that not everything is good. There's a shadow side to everything. So even your
Yeah.
religion has its own like shadow side, and it's
Yeah.
good to accept your faith the way it is. You don't have to practice it in the real world. Like, if like your religion says homosexuality is a sin or don't take showers, like, you don't have to go
I don't think religion would
stone
ever say
like gay
that,
people
but-
or stop taking showers. Like, you don't have to do that. God loves you the way you are.
Yeah, disclaimer, this has nothing to do with God. Like, God would never say anything that would, you know, make it okay for you to hate on something or be unclean. Like, God would never say that. So this is, when we say religion, we mean like, probably, this is such a like touchy topic, I don't even want to talk about this anymore, but
Oh no,
we-
it's from a sociological perspective.
we-
Religions are turning into cults now.
Oh, yeah,
like that's where we're at.
definitely, like, please pray to your God and only your God. It's just like there's a lot of other aspects, like a lot of Chinese whisper that's come down through generations that kind of has made religion something it may not be. And I'm talking about every single one. Like, I am not very well versed in all of them. I believe in all of them. I believe in all gods and love them all equally. So it's like I've read up on a few rules and regulations of a few religions. Like, growing up in a Muslim country, I know about Islam. Being a Hindu, I know about Hinduism. Having a lot of Christian friends, I know about Christianity. So at the end of the day, it's like a lot of the rules are pretty similar. A lot of them are similar, a lot of them are different, but
yeah,
mostly, like, you can draw a lot of parallels. But then you also have this thing in your brain where it's like, okay, did God say this, or did you say this? Like, did somebody else, you know, kind of try to write something else that in between that was not really something God said? It was just something that fit their agenda, sort of a thing. But yeah, that's a whole.
yes, like the end point is just use your brains.
Yeah.
Discern.
Yeah,
Be discerning.
Use your brain and honestly strengthen your connection with God and the universe, and you'll know what's right. You'll just know it in your gut, you know. You won't need
Exactly, and you
Yeah.
wouldn't need like us or like 10 different people to tell you
or a book.
what
Yeah,
to do.
yeah, literally. Like, you will just know in your gut, because you will be that close to your God. If this is, again, if you're not religious, none of this makes sense to you. Just, I guess, the universe, but you know what we mean. Just trust yourself.
I mean,
and
even
God.
if people aren't religious, atheists believe in like the power of the universe and stuff. So if you can connect to anything that brings you solace in this
Yeah.
horrible, spiritually
Yeah.
warfaring world, I think it's best if you connect to it strongly and don't listen to people who try to deviate you from that path.
Yeah.
Just keep doing you. Keep connecting to your God. This is why I tell people, like, don't focus too much on religious teachings. Focus on God.
Yeah, for sure.
Focus on God's love, because love is the only thing that scares fear and death and all of those
for
things.
sure. Cute ending. Food for thought. I feel like I had one more point to address, but if I address it now, it'll just be like out of nowhere. So maybe at a part 2 somewhere, or maybe in a video on our YouTube channel. You should subscribe if you're not already listening to it. Listening to our podcast from the YouTube channel. But yeah, this podcast will be up there as well, along with Spotify and Google Podcasts and many others. And follow our Instagram. And yeah, I just completely just went into the shout out mode because it felt like a good transition.
Ooh, and one more thing. We have Diwali sale coming up on our reading.
Yes.
So if you want to take like the advantage of that,
Yeah, oh
you
my
can do
gosh.
that.
We have our Diwali sales post up. You can also click the menu link I'll put in the podcast bio. So go get a reading for a discounted price. We have 30% off on tarot readings, selected ones, and we have 10% off on astrology readings, selected ones. So go and get yourself one. This is a once in a lifetime. Oh, I'm just kidding. It'll come back, but it won't come back anytime soon. So you want to take advantage of that and maybe get yourself a reading. But yeah, thank you for listening. We hope that this kind of helped you learn a few things and honestly give you insight on you want to change your routine, how you want to change your routine, and kind of bring these practices in. But it's helped us, and honestly, I just after this podcast realized how out of touch I am with my spiritual hygiene lately, which is why I'm feeling like this. So I'm gonna get back into it. And yeah, that's another thing. It's not going to be a linear process. It's not going to be like one day you start following this routine and it's always going to be flowers and rainbows and sunshines. You're going to fall off the wagon, but that's just being human, I guess. But yeah, that's all I have to say, man. Anything to add?
Thank you so much for having us, and I'm so glad to be here, and she's so glad to be
I'm
here.
so
and
grateful.
We're so glad to be here.
I'm so happy. Like, this makes me happy just to do this once a week. But we will see you next time, next week, on a Sunday/Monday. Bye-bye. Have a good day.
Love you. Bye.